I like forced movement, but I usually like that forced movement to be away from me, not toward me.
You also just like things to be away from you. Like you don't love
Yeah,
having things pulled within 5 feet of you. Generally speaking, you're more of a I will hit it and move it around when it's 120 feet from me. That's where
yeah,
it
oh, yeah.
should be. Yeah, long away from hitting me.
I mean, if if it's a kobold that's already been stabbed 3 times, fine. Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Lightning Lure.
And I pulled you towards me. That was one of my crappier
I thought,
off the cuff lightning
thought
spell
you were going to do like the
demonstrations.
lasso thing. No? All
Am
right.
I at a bachelorette party or okay? This is an evocation cantrip from Todd's Cauldron of Everything. It's similar to another spell that exists that I'm lukewarm on. That it's fine. It's fun. This is also fine and fun. This is an action cast. Sell 15-foot radius, instantaneous duration, just verbal components. So you can say this while with your hands bound. You create a lash of lightning energy that strikes at one creature of your choice that you can see within 15 feet. The target makes a strength saving throw or is pulled 10 feet in a straight line towards you and takes a d8 lightning damage if it's within 5 feet of you, which is weird. But anyway, at higher levels, the damage increased by d8 at 5th, 11th, and 17th level. So it goes to 2d8, 3d8, 4d8,
Wait,
like
so this
all
only
cantrips
does
normally does.
damage if it's within 5 feet of you?
But like it's always supposed to be within 5 feet of you because it pulls it from 15 feet to 10 feet. Like it pulls it 15 up to 15 feet of you to up to 10 feet closer towards you, and then it should be within 5 feet of you. Is how that like works, right? It's like you grab something that's 15 feet away, you pull it 10 feet closer, it's now within 5 feet of you, it
Okay.
takes the d8 damage. I don't know why they worded it like this instead of just it takes the d8 damage and is pulled 10 feet towards you. That seems like it'd make a lot more sense, but
Well,
that's
it's
not what it
weird
says.
because, I mean, like, it's up to 10 feet. So you can pull them 5 feet if you want, and then I guess they don't take any damage. They're, I can't
True.
think of many reasons
Dumb.
you'd want to do that.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah, I mean, if you're pulling them with lightning, they should take damage regardless. But
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, there's also like that text guts any utility this would maybe have had with extended spells kind of stuff, right? Where you could go longer distances with it in some weird ways. Like if you can
mm,
get this to go 30 feet, all of a sudden it actually doesn't ever do damage because it only pulls the 10. So there's a lot of nombos that happen here. But outside those niche cases, what's your read? What do you think? How do you feel about this little non-druid thorn whip?
not great. It doesn't have an amazing range. It's a cantrip, so that's got that going for it. What did you say about the components? It's only verbal. That's, I guess that might make a difference. I mean, it makes a difference with a lot of different spells, but this one I'm having trouble seeing it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's also important. I didn't mention this is for artificers, sorcerers, warlocks, wizards. So those four classes normally don't have access to this kind of effect. So that's worth noting.
I like forced movement, but I usually like that forced movement to be away from me, not toward me.
You also just like things to be away from you. Like you don't love
Yeah,
having things pulled within 5 feet of you. Generally speaking, you're more of a I will hit it and move it around when it's 120 feet from me. That's
yeah,
where it
oh, yeah.
should be. Yeah, long away from hitting me.
I mean, if if it's a kobold that's already been stabbed 3 times, fine. This will probably kill it.
But then
Yeah,
every other cantrip that does damage in the game does that,
yeah.
right?
I don't really want a dead kobold at my feet either, though.
But you're gonna loot that kobold, then you have first dibs.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
think this has not many homes. I like the quicken version of this. So like you throw down a wall of fire, you hit most of the things, you quicken something into it, and then you kind of like get double dip. Although we just talked about wall of fire, so that's not necessarily a great example. But it's something that it takes damage when it enters the space the first time on its turn, and then when it starts its turn in there, it takes the damage. Then you can kind of do like a sorcerer thing where you throw down a big area of damage near you, pull something into it, and then it takes the damage on the start of its turn with your quicken spell. So you quicken
Hmm.
lightning lore. That's kind of a cute thing you can do with this. For that reason, I think that I like that it exists. It's really short range. 15 feet is
Yeah,
tiny. So like you really have to be in there as a sorcerer. Like there aren't a lot of subclasses on sorcerer that really want you to be in there, but this is a reason to want to do that. So, that could be kind of cool and cute. I don't hate that. Uh on warlocks, I'm not seeing a lot of situations where it'll come up for your action, and that's where I'm like,
but warlocks have better means to do that though. The invocations, they got a what's the if they
grasp
want
of an
to do
R pulls
right, if
towards
they
them.
want to do damage and pull, they can do that from a bigger distance.
From like 90 or 120 feet out or
Right.
something ridiculous. And it's attached to a good spell that does
Yeah.
more damage every time. Like, it's hard not to look at this and go, well, isn't Thorn Whip just better? Because Thorn Whip basically you lower the dice size, but it always does the damage. It hits a 30-foot range. It doesn't, so it only hits larger or smaller.
Let's make something clear. This always does the damage. Nobody's pulling 8 feet.
But like, if you can't extend the range of this and have it still do the damage.
Right. Yeah.
But I think the most use case of this is putting it on a sorcerer, and the fact that it doesn't work with a way to extend the spell's range is kind of an issue.
You're absolutely right. Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah. You're right that like if you're using this fairly, it will always do the damage, but I don't love the damage trade-off for the range trade-off.
No.
It doesn't like I do like that this hits any size thing, so you can pull Krakens with this. Like, it doesn't matter how big it is. You can just be like, hey, you're within 15 feet of me, scoot 10 feet closer. Whereas Thorn Whip only hits larger, smaller for the pool. I still think I want the 30-foot range and the consistency on damage over this every single time, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm given the option, you're always taking Thorn Whip. I mean, Artificers get both, and they're definitely always taking Thorn Whip. Unless you're doing, like, specifically thematic Iron Man things. In which case, I'd just reflavor Thorn Whip to do lightning damage. But, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not huge on this one.
This is a suck to your version of a spell I'm pretty mid on.
I like Thorn Whip. I think that's pretty cool.
I think there's a lot of cute utility in Thorn Whip. I like the example I always fall back to is pulling somebody off a banister, right? Like they're on the second story floor, they're shooting down at you. You go get over here, and you or it's the Mortal Kombat blue guy that shoots the thing out of his hand. What's his name? Sub-Zero. You Sub-Zero them.
Right.
That could be cool, but like lightning lore, it's like a magnet. You magnet them to you. Is that good? I don't know. I'm lukewarm on this. I think this is probably it. It's just so much worse than its competition, but it has a home somewhere, so that probably deserves a 2, right?
Yeah, 2 sounds about right. It's not Thorn Whip, but if you don't have access to Thorn Whip and you want something like it, then if you want to pull somebody 10 feet, then sure. I don't.
Think, but yeah. I will definitely say this. If you're wondering, should I take this as my only damaging cantrip? Certainly not. You take this for the pull effect first, and if you do not actively have ways on your sheet right now to double dip with that pull effect, if you don't have spike growth effects, if you don't have, area effect damage that you intend to regularly be directly next to, this should not be anywhere near your sheet because it's just worse poison spray. And poison spray doesn't also deserve to be on your sheet, but at least it's the D12 damage. So like I kind of get it. Like I put poison spray on my character sheets because I like working harder for my damage. But like lightning lore isn't even good at that. So if you want this spell, you go in first with the needing to move things. You don't have access to throwing because it definitely does it better. And then you go, okay, now I put lightning lore on my sheet, knowing I have other things to do with it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's a 2. All right, well, that was lightning lore. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know what you think about lightning lore down in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.